Life is a journey full of unexpected encounters, and often the people we meet by chance can have a profound impact on our existence. The road, in particular, is a place of mystery and adventure, where every kilometer traveled can reserve unexpected surprises. This story tells of how our lives can intertwine in unpredictable and extraordinary ways, changing the course of our destiny. Ricardo, a truck driver with over 20 years of experience, was going through one of the most difficult periods of his life. His truck, old and rented, did not allow him to transport large loads, and the money he earned barely covered the expenses of supporting his family. Every morning at 4 o'clock sharp, the alarm went off. Ricardo woke up and got ready to face a long day at work. He preferred not to drive at night, a constant reminder of a terrible accident that had affected him deeply. 2 years earlier, Ricardo had had a serious accident that had cost him dearly. While traveling with a friend to transport an excessive load of rice, fatigue, and negligence led to a fatal collision. His friend lost his life, and Ricardo had to face a long and painful journey of physical and emotional rehabilitation. Every day was a struggle with guilt and trauma. The nights were tormented by nightmares and remorse. The physical rehabilitation had been arduous, but the emotional rehabilitation seemed never-ending. From that day on, he vowed never to drive at night again, a moment that brought back too much pain. One morning, while driving along a familiar road, he saw an unusual figure on the side of the road. Something about that person caught his attention and, although the area was known for being frequented by women who worked at night, Ricardo decided to stop. The woman he met, Anita, explained that she needed to get to a farm about an hour away. Ricardo, although hesitant, decided to help her. During the trip, Anita, who was wearing a nun's habit, revealed something shocking. "You know, I was working with the women of this area." Ricardo, shocked, didn't know how to react. Anita continued to explain that she was there to help women, offering spiritual and practical support. As they talked, Ricardo noticed a group of armed men blocking the road. It was an ambush. The robbers took all of Ricardo's money, leaving him desperate and without hope. He continued the journey in shock with Anita, taking her to the farm where she was to be dropped off. Once they arrived, Anita revealed that the farm belonged to her family and insisted that Ricardo stay for a few days to recover from the trauma. Anita's family welcomed Ricardo warmly, offering him food and a place to sleep. Every day, Ricardo called his wife to tell them what had happened, trying to understand how they would cope with the financial difficulties. He noticed that Anita went out at night, returning later and later. Intrigued, he decided not to interfere, respecting her privacy. One night, Anita knocked on Ricardo's door and led him to an isolated room. Here, Richard saw a young woman with a newborn baby. Anita explained that the girl, Christina, had been helped by her to give birth and was now looking for a safe place to live. Ricardo's heart filled with compassion and shame for having hastily judged Anita. Ricardo realized in that moment how important it was to look beyond appearances and understand the true stories of people. If you've made it this far, leave a comment on what you would have done in Ricardo's place. Have you ever been judged unfairly? Tell us your story in the comments. The next morning, as Ricardo was preparing to leave, he discovered that his truck was loaded with supplies: bags of cereals, fruit, vegetables, and salted meat. Anita explained to him that they were a gift from the family to help him in difficult times. Anita's father also gave him an address where he was supposed to deliver part of the load, a merchant friend of the family. Ricardo left with a deep sense of gratitude. At the end of the journey, he delivered his cargo and returned home with enough supplies to feed his family for months. He decided to share part of what he had received with his community, extending the gesture of generosity he had received. He brought some bags of cereals, fruit, and vegetables to needy families in his neighborhood, organizing a distribution at the local church. The people who received those gifts were deeply grateful and surprised by Ricardo's generosity, who had not limited himself to thinking only of his own family, but had also wanted to make a difference for others. Ricardo's story quickly spread through the neighborhood, and many learned of his act of altruism. Some neighbors offered to help him with repairs to his truck. Others donated what they could to support his family. Ricardo, who at the beginning of his journey felt overwhelmed by despair, now found himself surrounded by a community that supported and appreciated him. His experience with Anita had taught him that every encounter can be an opportunity to do good, and that kindness, even towards strangers, can have a lasting impact. Ricardo understood that, despite difficulties, there is always hope and a possibility of renewal through compassion and mutual help. If you like this story, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. You will be notified every time we publish a new video. In that moment, he understood that every difficulty overcome, every act of generosity, was part of a bigger plan. The compassion and empathy he discovered through Anita had not only transformed his life, but also enriched his spirit. Ricardo, with a heart full of gratitude and renewed faith in humanity, knew that the road ahead of him, however uncertain, was now illuminated by the light of goodness and hope. And so, with a smile and a serene soul, he continued his journey, ready to face whatever fate had in store for him. Ricardo's story teaches us that life is full of surprises, and that every meeting can be an opportunity to do good. Every small gesture of generosity can transform not only our lives, but also those of others, creating a chain of compassion and humanity that illuminates our path and makes us better. And in the end, it is precisely these moments of altruism and mutual understanding that remind us of the true meaning of being human. Thanks for staying with us until the end. See you in the next video.